All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakwakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Revelation, that's still like your First Peter's 4 and 12. And it says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial. So this is to the beloved. And the beloved is who? The beloved is going to be the favorite of the Lord, man. He's only going to call the favorite or the elect of the Lord the beloved. So this goes out to the elect. Let's get the word beloved. Beloved, dear, beloved, esteemed, dear, favorite, worthy of love. And that beloved, speaking of the elect, it said, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial. And that fiery trial is a testing. Let's get the word fiery trial. It says here, the third definition, calamities or trials that test character. And it says, which is to try you as though some strange thing happened unto you. So basically, being in this truth, the expectation for things to go your way is very minimal. You know, for the most part, things don't really go our way. You know, we are sustained through the Holy Spirit, through the power of the Yahweh Shai, the power of the Heavenly Father. You know, He sustains us and provides us our daily bread. But on a day-to-day basis, you know, things not really go our way, man. You know, this is part of the straight gate. This is part of the fiery trial, and this is part of the building up for even further trials, for even harsher trials. You know, so the road's not going to get any easier, and that's just something that you gotta accept. You know, the days are not going to get any brighter. You know, speaking of your time here, and all praises to the Most High that our time here is not going to be that long. But knowing that there's an end to something, it kind of eases the pain, man. And that's versus knowing that there is no end to something, then that pain seems like torture. You know, just like when you gotta do something that's hard or laborious for extended period of time, there's comfort in knowing that hey, it's almost over with, or the shift almost over. Say you got a hard job and you got to do a lot of these difficult tasks, but you know that after you perform those tasks, or when the clock runs out, or when your shift is over, that's going to be over with. So you see a hope, or you see a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's one of the ways that we can mentally cope with the hell that we're going through, knowing that it has an end, knowing that there's a reward for it, knowing that there's greater things at the end of it. You know, the apostles, they asked that to Yahweh Shai, what shall we receive? Let's go ahead and get that. Salak. Let's see, I'll just go ahead and put receive. See if I can find it. I'm gonna go ahead and type in another word. This is Matthew 19 and 27. It says, Then answered Peter and said unto him, this is Peter speaking to Yahweh Shai, said, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Like, you know, we took on the path of the straight gate. We forsaken everything. You know, everything that a man gains his life, they forsook it. You know, all those things that give you a comfort, they forsook it. And you could imagine that it was businesses, and it was jobs, it was families, it was livelihoods, it was substance. It was a lot of things, man. And the apostles forsake all of that. because it said that they straightway followed, just right away. They just dropped everything and hey, I'm following Yahweh Shai. And when you cross your line into this truth, basically that's what you did. Well, that's what we did. You know, we made the vow to forsake all, because the reason that we made that vow and we to forsake all is because we knew that we're going to receive something in the end, or we're going to hopefully receive something. But I'm going to run that back. So then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahweh Shai said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which shall follow me in the regeneration. So even Yahweh Shai is saying, you're not going to get it in this life, but in the regeneration. So there was no expectation of hope in the life that they were living at that present moment. The expectation of hope was for a further distant future. And we have the privilege of knowing that that future, where the reward comes, is not that far off. But it's going to be a great harshness and severity and testing of spirit in men in these days. It said, Verily I say unto you, that ye which shall follow me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in his throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother. And basically this is Yahweh Shai telling you what that sacrifice calls for. For my name's sake shall receive 100 and 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. So basically Yahweh Shai is speaking of the extremity of forsaking that one must do to follow the Lord, man. You know, this truth, it's bittersweet. Let's go ahead and get that definition for the word bittersweet. This right here, it says, what does the saying bittersweet mean? It says, bittersweet describes a feeling or experience that is both happy and sad at the same time. It can also refer to taste that combines foods like bitterness, such as mixture of positive and negative emotions or sensations. So this truth is bittersweet, man. You know, in Revelation, the 10th chapter speaks about that. Let's go ahead and get that. Before we get that, let's get Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter. And Salak. Ezekiel 2:10, it says, let's just start at verse 9. It says, When I looked, and behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. Let me start somewhere else. Where it says it was sweet. I think it's the previous chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Then we're going to go back to that as well. Salakia. Fine. I was in the right place, Salat. It says Ezekiel 2:9. It says, and I looked, and behold, well, I'll start at verse 8. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee, be not thou rebellious like the rebellious house. So when you come to this truth, you know, basically that's the Lord telling you, be not rebellious, forsake the way of the 2/3. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And that's the truth, that's knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It says, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. That's his truth, that's his Bible. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written there lamentations, mourning, and woe. That's the bitter. You know, that's all the history, all the Bible that speaks of the prophets and all the things they went through, that speaks of all the apostles and all the things they went through, and none of it was basically, through the eyes of the world, a happy ending for them. It was a very hard, suffering life. There was lamentations. It was a life of lamentations, mournings, and woe. That's the bitter. But we'll go to the 3rd chapter. Said, moreover, said to me, son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he called me to eat this roll. And he said unto me, son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowls with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. So see, it's both those things. It's sweet to know that there is an end to this BS that we're going through. It's sweet to know that we are the sons of the Most High, and that the Lord is coming back to save us. That's sweet. But it's also bitter to know, to live this life and to be in this truth and to suffer the things that we are called to suffer. Let's go back to Revelation. And it's going to continue to get worse before it gets better. That's the old saying. It says, Revelation 10:9, I went unto the angel, said unto me, give me the little book. He said unto me, take it and eat it up, just like it was told to Ezekiel. And it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. You know, the tasting of it, the experience of the brotherhood, the experience of knowing the true knowledge of the Bible. It's very sweet. And as soon as I have eaten it, once you digest yourself into this word, and digest yourself and be involved in this word, it becomes bitter. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. And that's where the bitter part goes in. The doing of the work is the bitter part. The persecution that comes with it is the bitter part. Let's get what was it? Daniel. Let me see here. Salak. This is also speaks about the bitter. Daniel 11:35, and some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them and to purge. That's the bitterness that the men of the Lord are going to go through, and to make them white even to the time of the end, because it's yet for a time appointed. Let's get that in the NLT. It says, and some of the wise will fall victim to persecution. You know, that speaks a little bit more clearly. And this way they will be refined and cleansed and made pure until the time of the end, for the appointed time is still to come. But we have hope knowing that that appointed time it's pretty much, it's here. So there's hope in knowing that there's an end to suffering. There's sweetness in knowing that there's an end to suffering. Going through the suffering is bitter, but knowing that there's an end to it is sweet. So with that being said, just a real quick lesson here at the plantation. Most High will and hope is edifying. That I want to give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.